Hello everyone, today I'll be checking out Tostadas, which is a restaurant specializing in Mexican-American fusion. It's a real local spot, and I've heard that it gets really popular and super crowded, especially on the weekends, so let's go check it out now. I just made it here to Tostadas, and it's surprisingly quiet for a Saturday morning. It's around 11 a.m. on a Saturday, and it's honestly not too busy. So if you don't want a big crowd, come here on a Saturday at 11. As with any Mexican restaurant, you gotta start off with the chips and salsa. Right here, it looks like they have from freshly fried chips, so they look really crispy and slightly greasy. And then they also have a smooth red salsa on the side. The chips are definitely freshly fried up, so I really like that taste. And the salsa is great as well. It's spicy. I taste the jalapeno and the onions in there, and I like the smooth texture of it as well. And it's a great start because I always love having chips and salsa with my meal. The first dish I want to start off with is the birria tacos, and I absolutely love myself some birria tacos. They look really nice and crispy and fried on the outside, and then it looks like you have a very spicy and flavorful broth with it. I know you're not really supposed to, but I'm going to start by trying the birria taco plain and then dip it in a broth. That is a fantastic birria taco. I love the tortilla because it definitely tastes like freshly griddled and fried up. And the meat is so juicy. I mean, I can't believe it hasn't been dipped yet. I mean, I taste all of the flavorful marinade. And it's such a tender cut of beef as well that's really nice and shredded up. And then on top of that, you have cheese in the bottom, which is just amazing. Because I mean, cheese, beef, and a tortilla doesn't get much better than that. Now I'll just dip in this consomme broth, and this looks even more rich and flavorful. Wow, this is great. I didn't think it could get any better, but when you dip the birria taco in the consomme broth, it's really like drinking a taco. I mean, it just releases all of the juices and flavor in your mouth. It basically just tastes like the exact same marinated as the meat, but it tastes so much better dipped in a broth because it's just so juicy and amazing. My only wish that these tacos were actually spicy, because they don't taste spicy at all. It just has a very tomatoey and slightly tangy taste, so I think these would be even better if they made them real spicy. But other than that, I think they're pretty good. Speaking of tacos, these are their carne asada tacos, and these look so colorful and fun. It looks like there's a little bit of slaw on here as well as some radish, so I have a feeling that this is going to be pretty tasty. That is perfect. On the outside, you have two very thin corn tortillas. They're just enough to hold it together. And then inside, you have chopped up little pieces of grilled steak. The top is the best part though, because you got some shredded purple cabbage for some nice fresh crunch, pico de gallo, and then you got the sauce, which is really creamy and smoky. And in fact, they give you a whole thing of sauce on the side. So let's just see if this is the same sauce that's on the taco as well. Wow, that is shocking. I was not expecting that at all. It's actually very intense. It's creamy, but it is very, very spicy. It tastes like it's habanero sauce, and it definitely caught me off guard, as all the other food has been pretty mild so far and fairly tame, but this will definitely light you up. I mean, I already feel like the tips of my ears tingling because it's that spicy, but I definitely do like that with the taco because it adds just some more heat and peppery flavor. Now I'll be trying out their carnitas tostadas, and I gotta try out these tostadas because after all, that is the name of the restaurant, so this has gotta be great. These tostadas definitely don't disappoint. I love the carnitas because it's so fatty and heavy and rich, and I love that it's also tender as well. It's not overcooked, but the best part of it is the blue corn tortilla on the bottom because it's deep fried, so it's really crispy and crunchy and satisfying to bite into. In fact, I would say the texture is even better than the tortilla chips just because it's so thick. And now I'm gonna give it a dip in the sauce again, and I believe this is that same flaming hot habanero sauce. Yeah, that is definitely key. It's that same flaming hot habanero sauce, and you gotta have it with the carnitas. And I feel like on its own, it's just like kind of like carnitas with a tiny bit of grated cheese on top, as well as the tortilla. So you really gotta have that heat just to give it a little bit more extra flavor. And once you do, I think it's pretty good. Next, I got the carne asada burrito, and this one looks nice because I like how the bottom of the tortilla looks really toasted. And no questions asked, I'm just gonna dip it immediately into this spicy sauce. And in fact, that might even be too much because you gotta be really careful with this. That way you don't completely cover up the flavor of the food. Wow, I was right about that. Definitely don't add as much sauce as that. You really only need a few drops. But the burrito itself is basic but tasty. I mean, you just got a little bit of refried beans in there. You got the taste of the meat as well as the tortilla. And there's also a little bit of Spanish rice in there. And yes, I do like that the tortilla is toasted on the bottom because it makes it a little bit crispy. But wow, I gotta get another bite of this because my tongue is still burning from the spicy sauce. What's cool is they also serve breakfast here until 3:30 p.m. Can you believe that? That's pretty impressive. But some restaurants don't even serve lunch until 3:30 p.m. But either way, I got their chilaquiles, which is their most famous breakfast dish here, and I got it topped off with some fried eggs. I'll just get a nice big bite with everything, with the fried egg and also with the chorizo, which is what comes with this. And I also decided to get it with green sauce because you got a choice between green sauce and red sauce, and most of the time I prefer green sauce with everything. Well, that's impressive. I really like the texture of the tortilla chips because they're still crunchy and they're a little bit soft at the same time. So they kind of absorb the sauce, and yet you still get the crunch. And the sauce is nice because it actually does have a bit of heat. It's a real nice blend of green chilies as well as tomatillos. The eggs are delicious as well. And my favorite part is the chorizo because the chorizo here is also very spicy. Not quite as spicy as that habanero sauce, but maybe like one level lower than that. Because usually you find chorizo to be fairly mild, but here it definitely brings the heat and the flavor. And on the side, you have a choice between hash browns and country fried potatoes. So I just decided to go for the country fried potatoes. And it looks like it comes with a little bit of fried up onions and bell peppers. It's very simple, it just tastes like some red potatoes, and it's stir fried with a little bit of garlic as well as onions and bell peppers. And personally, I just prefer it over hash browns because I think it's a little bit more lively and a little bit more flavorful. For my final dish, I got their chorizo skillet, which is hash browns on the bottom, topped off with chorizo, and then you get your choice of eggs. And personally, I think scrambled eggs will go best with this dish. Oh, this is definitely a winner breakfast dish. You got the crispy hash browns on the bottom, fluffy, perfectly cooked scrambled eggs. They're nice and moist. And then you have the juicy and spicy pieces of chorizo. This is definitely what you want if you want a filling, well-balanced breakfast dish. They give you some ketchup on the side to go along with this, which I guess is really popular because a lot of people like scrambled eggs and ketchup. But honestly, I do think it would go pretty well with some of this spicy habanero sauce instead. Now for my favorites. First, I want to give an honorable mention to the carne asada tacos. I really enjoyed the presentation of it because it looks so colorful and fun. And they were also pretty tasty as well because you got the crunchy cabbage, the meat, and then that spicy sauce. My absolute favorites though were the carnitas tostadas and the birria tacos. I mean, the carnitas tostadas are going to be great. I mean, I feel like all the tostadas on their menu are probably great because the texture of their tortillas are really good, and then I love all the toppings as well. And of course the birria tacos were awesome. I've never had a bad birria taco anywhere. I mean, the outside of the tortilla was tasty, and then the inside meat was very tender and easy to eat, and then the broth just made everything so juicy and flavorful. If you're all looking for a local spot with some Mexican-American comfort food, this is definitely the place to check out. And as always, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.